Okay, can we acknowledge ourselves for coming out tonight? Just start out with acknowledging I figure if the outer is a reflection of the inner, then if I start acknowledging myself, then we'll create that kind of reflection coming back at us from our world.
Yeah.
You know, so I need to give myself what I want everybody else to give me. And I also need to give everybody else what I want to give me. Then I don't have to figure it out. Right? So all we have to remember is I'm gonna take a minute and give you a chance to kind of cool out while I go through a little short thing to kind of get us centered. This is a way of mastery. If you're here for the first time, there would be no sacrifice. Well, I was kind of thinking about you. We're just trying to open our minds up to another way of looking at things that would allow us to keep our peace of mind. And then to keep our peace of mind, we will be able to hear our inner guidance, our own divine guidance. So I'm trying to support you in getting in touch with yourself and listening to your own inner guidance and follow your own inner guidance. And the way of mastery has radical ideas and concepts that are different from what we've been taught. That's the whole point, is to hear something different than what we've been taught. I had the deepest realization that when I say I want something new, I'm saying I want something different. Mm-hmm. But it's amazing how many times I say I want something new, but I expect to hear the same thing. Right? It's like I say I'm ready for something new, then somebody says something new, which is really something different, and then I feel all this resistance. But I asked to hear something new. It's just important to remember you don't have to believe it. I'm not asking you to believe it, to accept it, to welcome it. Some of the things I say may be hard to believe. Some of it might be quite startling. You're not really asked to judge and analyze at all, even though we know you are. And if you use it, you see that it works. So I'm going to take a minute to go through a few things to kind of get us tuned in. So just take a breath, close your eyes, relax. You can let your mind go anywhere you want to, or you could actually listen to maybe what's coming through, and you're innocent either way it goes. Take a breath, because all you need is love. All you need is love. Remember this. Remember this. Nothing you do can bring love to you. Nothing you do can bring love to you. Nothing you do can keep love for yourself in a form of your choosing. I say, nothing you do can keep love for yourself in a form of your choosing. Nothing you do can make love appear in the form of your insistence. Nothing you do can make love appear in the form of your insistence. So you want to say to yourself and remind yourself and say to your higher power, I want only that which is true always. 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 Love is what I want. Love is what I want. Love is what you really want. Love is what you really want. Love is what you are. 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 Hear me now. Love is what you are. Love is what you want. Love is what you are. Love is what you receive. Love is what you receive. Love is who you are. Love is who you are. You and your Creator are one. You and your Creator are one. I want only that which is true always. I want only that which is true always. Love is what I want. Anybody want to say that after me? That's great. Love, breath, is what I want. I say love, only those who want to say it, is what I want. Love is what I want. Love is what I am. Is what I am. Love is what I am. They call me the chocolate Elvis Presley.
Woo!
So we're going to be on page 75 if you got the book in the Way of the Heart. And we're going to be on the section that's called All You Need Is Love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love is all you need. So I'm going to go through the paragraph, and then, as you know, I'm going to cover about 10 minutes of material, and I'm going to throw it open for questions and discussion and comment. And then I'm going to go through the next part, and we're going to see if we can get through as much of this section as we can tonight. How you feel? How's everybody?
Loving.
Okay. All right. All you need is love. Love fulfills all things. Love embraces all things. Love heals all things. Love transforms all things. So therefore remember well, you and only you can become the cause of your fulfillment. You and only you can become the cause of your fulfillment. You and only you can become the cause of your fulfillment, your peace, and your completion of time. This requires that you do nothing except remember to establish your connection with your Creator. This requires that you do nothing except remember to establish a connection with your Creator. You and only you can become the cause of your fulfillment, your peace, and your completion. And all it requires is for you to remember to have the fulfillment, to have the peace. All you have to do is to remember to establish a connection with your Creator. That pretty much explains everything. Pretty much, we can go to something else now. We know what the problem is, don't we? So how do I know if I haven't established a connection with my Creator? Very easy to tell if you haven't established a connection with your Creator. You're afraid. You're worried, you're concerned, you're depressed, you think that you're dealing with something that you can't deal with, or you think you have to do it on your own, because fear, according to the Course in Miracles and the Way of Mastery, and remember now, what's going to make this fun tonight, especially if you're here for the first time, or even if you're not, is to, and I'll say this again, it's very important to remember that I'm not trying to say you have to believe what I'm saying. Because if you listen to me from the perspective that you've got to believe me, you won't hear what I'm saying. But if you listen from the perspective that you don't have to, and you're just opening yourself up to hear concepts and points of view that you haven't heard before, then you'll let yourself just hear it. Okay? Because a person's belief does not determine the truth of something. Your belief doesn't make something true or not true. What's really true is going to be true whether you believe it or not. You know, whether I believe in gravity or not, if I jump off this church, I'm not going to fall up. Okay? There are certain things that's just in place, regardless of what I think I believe. And the thing that's in place that we're hearing is that the only person that's going to ever really cause the fulfillment that I really want to have in my life is going to be me, and that I'm going to establish that fulfillment and peace through a connection with my higher power, that which created me. So it says, is it not true that what you desire most of all is love? I kind of want a house. I kind of want a car. I kind of want a Lexus. I kind of want a relationship. I kind of want to be famous. I kind of want to, I don't know if what I desire most of all is love. Do I ask for love all day long, or do I ask for other things all day long? Do I really say all day long, all I want and all I need is love? Or are we saying a whole host of other things if we would be honest with ourselves? How many times have you said today, all I want is love? Okay, I rest my case. Okay, so that's really not the thing that's uppermost in our minds. He's saying that what we think is what we're asking for is going to give us the love and the joy and the peace that we think we want. So it says, is it not true that you hope that each relationship, no matter how short, no matter what it's formed, that each journey, that each undertaking will allow you to experience peace? If I say I want to be in a relationship, I'm really hoping that I will experience more peace. Almost everything that I ask for, he says, are you not undertaking it because you think it will allow you to experience more peace? Is it not true that you who find yourselves in and as a body temporarily in time, I say it again, isn't it true that you who find yourselves in a body and as a body, anybody else in the house experiencing themselves as in a body, as a body? Okay, temporarily. And for some of us, it's more temporary than others. It's a trip sometimes when I think that I don't have as many years, normally speaking, in the dream. I don't have as many years ahead of me as I have behind me. One of my teachers one time explained the aging process is like being on a bridge, that when you're young, you don't see the other side of the bridge. And you just walking and you don't see. Then you get to be a certain age and all of a sudden you go, what's that over there in the distance? It's the other side of the bridge. And so we're just traveling through. I'm just traveling through. And I don't want to spend my whole time traveling through trying to fix myself. And I certainly don't want to spend my whole time traveling through trying to fix somebody else. And I certainly don't want to use my time traveling through trying to change nobody else. I used to think it was easier for me to stay the same, change everybody else to the point that they didn't upset me. And I would really try to do it in a relationship. Now I understand it's a lot easier if I just change my mind and leave everybody else alone. And trust that the same spirit that's guiding me is the same spirit that's guiding them. And if there's something for me to say, I'll be told. Spirit will lead me to do it. But I didn't create myself and I didn't create you. So all I want is love. He says, is it not true that you find yourselves in and as a body temporarily in time? Is it not true that the grandest of experiences you have known have been those that seem to flood the very cells of your body with love and with a sublime bliss and a peace? Those of you that are in the body, isn't it true that the greatest experience that you ever have is when you feel yourself flooded with love and with some kind of a sublime bliss and peace? Accept that truth, that what you desire beyond all things is the experience of love. Then remember this is nothing you do can bring love to you. Nothing you do can keep love for yourself in a form of your choosing. Now it's not, notice it's not talking about manifesting. It's not talking about a house, a car, or a career. It says love. That when it comes to love, then no matter how you try to control it, you can't. That you can't make love appear in the form of your insistence. It's like me coming in here and I'm insisting that you fall in love with me. So love has got to come according to my insistence. And that's what I used to do. I walk into a situation and I decide who was going to be the person I loved and that I wanted and that I was going to try to get. In other words, I was looking for the form that I was going to insist that love came in, hopefully that night. Amen. A woman. Okay, now. Release the drama, 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 release the drama. It's like, it's like release the Kraken. You know what I'm saying? It's like in the movies, like release the drama, release the drama, release the dream, release the drama, release the dream. Choose to remember the truth that's true always. Return to the kingdom within, which is the love within. Even prior to every breath, remind yourself, say to your Creator with every breath, remind yourself, love is what I want. I want only that which is true always. Love is, okay, this is where you do it. I want only that which is true always. Then you go, that means love is what I want. Because love is that which is true always. Then I take it to the next level and go, not only is love what I want, love is what I am. You are love. And then the truth teaches that love is the same as freedom. You are free. You are free. So you would really say, I want only that which is true always. Freedom is what I want. Freedom is, and free is what I am. Love is what I want. Love is what I am. Love is what I receive. Love is who I am. I and my Creator are one. Then it says, here and here alone do you discover what you seek. Then you become free to walk this earth, to be in the world, but not of the world at all. So there are people who walk in the world who want to experience nothing but love, nothing but love, nothing but love. And those people become free to walk the earth. And they're on the earth, but they're not of the earth. And they're not going through the things that people go through who are of the earth and are also wanting something else beside love. So the people who want something else beside love are existing in a world different from the people who only want love and know they are loved and believe that that's the only thing that they deserve to have is love. Two different worlds. And so that's what I really want. And he says at the point you really want love, that's when you become free to walk this earth, to be in the world but not of the world at all. And though your friends will still look upon you and still see a man or a woman who seems to act much like them, yet though they see it not, they don't know the Christ or the love, the real love of God is dwelling with them. So in other words, if I only want love and I only want to be love and I only want to be a manifestation of love and I only want to be a conduit of love, my friends will still think of me as Earl. And it'll look like I'm just like them, except that they don't know that there's love dwelling among them. And the same thing is true from your end. So when you really become a person that's becoming more enlightened and more self-realized and more loving and more free and more powerful, you're going to still pretty much look like everybody else. And most people are not going to know that you are radiating that level of love. They won't know that the Christ or the one creation of God, the love of God, is among them. So something in them keeps attracting them to you, though. There are people who start being attracted to you, and they won't really understand why. They just know they're kind of attracted to you. And they're not sure what it is that's got them so attracted to you. Now, the ego is going to say, it's the body. Get the body.
as quick as you can. Either to get the body to go on a date, or get the body for a conversation, or get the body for dinner, or get the body. That's what you're attracted to them for. It's the body. And when I say the body, I'm not just talking about their physical body. I'm talking about everything about them. Not just their physical body. Sometimes it's what they're doing, their influence, where they live, how they look, right? And so you think that's why you're attracted to somebody. And he says the truth is that you won't be sure what it is. Is it the shape of your body or the radiance of your eyes? Is not these things. What they're feeling will be the quality of love. So people will start to be attracted to you because you're really radiating the quality of love. And they won't really understand why they're attracted to you, but it's something about you that's attracting them to you. And that's because you have decided that love is what you want, love is all you need, that love is who you are, that love is what you are. And when you really mean that, then you will be free to walk the world and be in the world but not of the world. And people will be attracted to you and they won't know why, but they're feeling the quality of love and it's drawing them to you. Woohoo! Okay. It's better. It works even better than Match.com. Just a little bit. And so can you imagine walking upon this earth and no matter where you are, feeling as though every wisp of cloud, every blade of grass, and all good things on the heaven and earth will already reside within you, within this sphere of your own countenance? Can you imagine walking upon this earth and sensing that the light from the farthest of stars that shines through the night is already within you? So could you imagine that? Somebody walking up to you and going, "Hey, baby, let me tell you something. Do you know that the light from the farthest of stars that shine during the night is already within you?" That's what I'm seeing. Do you know that it looks like the whole of creation could be held within the palms of your hands? Police. 911. People are afraid of love who are full of fear. A fear-based person is terrified of a loving person. It brings up all their suspicion. There are people who will walk in this room and be suspicious of me because I'm joyful. Because I'm saying that you deserve love. Because I'm saying that you deserve to be happy. That you're innocent, guiltless, and sinless, and loved. That makes me suspicious. Someone who loves themselves is going, it's about time somebody was telling me the truth. It's so cool to hear what you got to say. And so look at it, he says, would there be room yet to convince yourself that there is something you lack, something you need, that the restlessness you feel must be valid? In truth, you are like one who has been given a perfect treasure, a priceless jewel. You have placed the priceless jewel into your pocket and forgotten that you possess the priceless jewel. So you run around trying to look into everybody else's pocket. I've forgotten that the priceless jewel of love is in my pocket, it's in me. So what I'm doing is I'm running around trying to get the love from everybody else's pocket. You got the love, I got to get it out of you. You got the love, I got to get it out of you. You got the love, I got to get it out of you. Because I forgot that that jewel, that love is in me. That's why I haven't seen it. Because I'm not looking where it's located. This is really deep. So you've tried to seduce. Anybody here ever tried to seduce? Everybody raise their hand. Okay, thank you. Let's have a little honesty in the house tonight. Now. Come on. Let's go for a little honesty in the house now. Okay. I know we're supposed to be trying to be holy now, so we're trying to pretend these kind of thoughts don't go through holy people's mind, but the truth is they do. Yes, they do. That's right. So you tried to seduce certain ones to do what? To surrender. I didn't think of it. I was trying to seduce somebody to get them to surrender. Isn't that interesting? I want to get you to do what I want you to do. And so that what? So that I can own the what? The clothing, and therefore try to possess the jewel that you hope is in your pocket. I'm trying to seduce you so that I can get you, so I can get the love that I hope is inside of you, because I don't realize the love is inside of me. That's why people are jealous and insecure, because they don't think there's enough love to go around. So if I give my love to him, then that's love I'm not giving to you, because there's not enough to go around. So love that you're giving to someone else is love that you're not giving to me. So fear-based minds don't believe that there's enough love to be inclusive. Fear-based minds believe that love is very limited. You better try to get as much of it as you can for yourself, and watch the other person like a hawk to make sure that that love doesn't get extended to anybody else but you. Okay? And so it says to us that the great truth is you cannot possess love until you set love free. You can't possess it until you set it free. You can't possess it until you set it free. You can't possess it until you set it free. You can't possess me until you set me free. You can't possess me until you set me free. You can't possess me until you set me free. You'll never possess me if you don't set me free. You'll never possess me if you don't set me free. It presents a challenge in relationships sometimes when you say that. Because I say that to people. You can't possess me unless you set me free. If you don't set me free, you can't possess me. I can't possess you unless I set you free, so therefore I'm not going to try to possess you. I'm going to set you free. And that freaks people out. They're not ready for you to say that. They are ready for you to come up with all your rules that you're finna give them, you know, because they're afraid. Because people, the more afraid you are, the more rules you need. The more afraid you are, the more laws you need. The more afraid you are, the more laws you need. The more rules you need. Because if we really loved each other, we would need laws to treat each other right. The more you are away from love, not practicing love, don't know what love is, the more rules you got for everything because you're afraid. So this is telling us that love, you have to love until you set, you can't possess love until you set it free. You can't possess love until you set it free. You can't move into a holy or healing or loving relationship with anyone and anything until you give up all trace of need to possess it. Woo! You can't move into a healing, happy, loving relationship with anyone and anything until you give up all trace of the need to possess it. Whew. Wow. It really is explaining a lot about my love life. I'm breaking all the rules. There's a part of me that's not doing this. Anybody else got a part of them that's not doing this? This kind of explains our situation, don't it?
Yeah.
It does. How many people in here want their freedom? Amazing, amazing. But how many of you in a relationship do not want to give your partner any freedom? Those who are pretending to be holy are not raising their hands up. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I know if I see you, there's some part of you that's like me, or we wouldn't be looking at each other. I bet you everybody in this room, some part of you has things you feel possessive about and things you want to be possessive about. You know, it's like, that's just a fact. It don't even matter if you even say that's true or not. We know it's true. Okay, so you don't even have to bother to say, I don't feel that way. You just totally in denial. and we'll let you be totally in denial. Okay, that's you innocent, don't make no difference. Sooner or later you're gonna find out every way you lying to yourself. So it doesn't matter. I ain't got no problem with it. You can think that you're the most loving person in the world. That's okay. If you're lying to yourself about that, you'll have something show up in your life to show you that you are. And if you're telling the truth about that, you'll sure have something to show up in your life to show you that you are. So that's what's so cool about being here. It doesn't matter what I say to myself. My mirror out there is going to reflect back to me what's really going on. And I can tell what I really believe by the kind of people, situations, circumstances, and things that I draw to me and what I go through in my personal relationships with everybody around me. So I know that there are parts of me that are really loving. There's a part of me that's really frightened. There's a part of me that gets jealous. There's a part of me that gets envious. There's a part of me that shares. There's a part of me that's honest. There's a part of me that lies. How do I know that? Because I'm surrounded by it. And so therefore I'm looking at aspects of my own consciousness. It's got to be my consciousness because we keep claiming we're one. That's what one means. That we are one. We're the same. We're connected. Whatever this one thing is, we're part of it. We're made out of the same stuff stars are made out of, literally. That's not like some nice little airy-fairy statement. We're literally made out of the same things that stars are made out of. That's what we are. So we're one. We're the same. We have fear. We have love. We take responsibility. Sometimes we blame. We see ourselves as victims, and sometimes we see ourselves as totally in charge. We love. Sometimes we fear. Sometimes we have peace. Sometimes we have conflict. Sometimes we think we're well. Sometimes we think we don't feel so good in our bodies. Sometimes we think we are unlimited, and sometimes we think we're this tall. We're all the same. We just do it at different times, and since we do it at different times, we tell ourselves we're different. You meet me on the day that everything's going great, and then I can't relate to your problem. What do you mean? Everything's great. What do you mean you feel lousy today? This is the best world you could ever live in. Then the next day, I go, is that Chris on top of the ledge of that building? You know, the same person that just got through saying all that is the same person that's in the pits of depression the next day about something. We're just alike. We just do it at different times. You know, and so if we realized we were one, then we would start to love each other, and we would start to heal each other with each other. We start to forgive each other. It's just seeing each other is different from each other in a fundamental sense that creates the separation, that creates the fear, that creates the world that we see that's full of fear. So I'm glad that I am the same as you and you are the same as me, because that means I am love and you are love. You want love and I want love. That's who you are, that's who I am. We are the same. We all want to be loved, and we all want to experience love. And we're being told that you cannot have it if you insist on it coming in the form that you think it should come in. When that may not be the form that wants to give it to you or allow it to get to you.
Yep.
If I wanted to come through you, I'm totally willing for the universe to overrule me and give it to me through what's the best thing for it to come to me through. I always give the universe the power of attorney. You know, spirit, you got the power of attorney. You can overrule any decision that I make that's not for my own best interest. Because I don't really know what I want and where it's located in every situation. So it says, when your only desire is love, you will be willing to set anyone free. When you only desire love, you will be willing to set anyone free. At the point you really want love, you will set anyone and anything free. Whoa. What you going to do? You're going to support them in their own journey, no matter what it is or what it takes. You will be willing to set anyone free to support him or her in their own journey. So if I love you, not only will I set you free, I will support you in your journey. I will support you in doing the thing that you feel is the best thing for you to do, the thing that's right for you, the thing that's most important to you and for you, even if it meant me not being there, and me not being that person, and me not being in a relationship with you for you to have what you want. I love you so much, I want you to have it, period. Take a breath. Take a breath. He says, yet you will never feel your love waver. Whoa. Notice it's telling us what we'll be like the once we really learned how to love. It's telling us what we will be like the once we really won't love. It's not saying that that's the way we are right now. That may be the goal that we need to shoot for. That may be the thing that we need to learn how to do. So readiness is not mastery. So because I'm being told that the once I learn how to fly a 747, I'll be able to take somebody to London, it doesn't mean I can jump on the plane and pilot it there the first day of flight school. And so what happens in classes like this, people hear what it seems to be an unbelievable level of love or consciousness and awareness, and they think they're supposed to be instantly able to do it just because they heard me say it. So instantly I should be able to love everybody, or I'm going to beat myself up. I should be able to free everybody around me, or I'm going to judge and criticize and condemn myself. No, we're just hearing what it is we're going to be like and how we're going to be expressing ourselves when we really want love. And if I can't be that way now, I would be doing everything in my power to learn how to let go of all the fears and all the blocks in me that keep me from being able to free somebody I love and to support them in being who and what they really are. That's what the spiritual practice is about. Me getting to the point that I can free you. Now, the thing that's cool about it is, really, it's kind of funny to think that I think I can free you. See, that's hilarious to me too. Like when someone says to me, I'm going to free you. It's really, and in relationships, people have a tendency to talk like that. I'm going to free you. As if they really have the power to determine whether or not I'm free. We talk like that. Okay, I'm going to let you have your freedom. A person that talks like that to you more sounds to me like a jailer. It would be like a jailer that would tell you, now I'm going to let you be free. That doesn't sound like what somebody would say who was loving you. It would be like, you're in prison and now I pardon you. I'm going to let you be free. I'm your jailer. Wow. Wow. So the problem with being a jailer is that the jailer has to stay in the prison to watch the prisoner. So actually the jailers are in prison all day just like the prisoners are. So are you a lover or a jailer? You a lover. So your attitude is that you want to free those who you love.
Well, I can't free them.
You know what I'm talking about, though. You know the context I'm talking about, this, though. So I'm asking you, is your goal when you're in a relationship to free the person that you would? That would be your goal, right? Mine too. But are there some parts of yourself that still have a temptation to be possessive?
That's why I have Katie to get me back on track.
Right. Isn't that awesome? Because that proves something else, that you can't do it by yourself. It's easier to do it in cooperation with someone that's sharing the goal with you. We're not meant to do anything that I'm talking about alone. There's nothing that I'm talking about that we're being asked to do alone. And sometimes you do need to have a friend that will call you on your stuff to remind you that you're doing something totally different from what you know is for your own best interest, right? So I'm gonna stop right here before I go a little bit further, and I'm going to throw it open for questions and comments. Yeah.
So one thing that I got an awareness of is that, like, you know, we talk about the one spirit, the one mind, but I believe that we also, that there's just only one ego that we all share. And it's just like, you know how people say there's separate egos, but it's just one ego, one universal ego that everyone shares. And so, like, when I see someone, you know, struggling with something like you're saying, you know, and I see it, then, you know, I share that too. And we all share it. And so, I don't know, that just encourages me because it helps strengthen that idea of unity, of oneness.
Right.
You know, even through our ego.
Right.
We're one.
Well, we would be more forgiving of each other if we thought we were like each other. I would forgive you faster if I thought I was like you too. Like, you know, next time I'm crucifying someone for, let's say, being selfish, if I thought that there was a part of me that sometimes is selfish, I'd be much more understanding of what appeared to be yours. If I have jealousy and capable of jealousy and I see you being jealous, then I'm going to have empathy for you because I know that I'm capable of the same thing that you are. So you're right. Anytime we see ourselves as the same, in any way that we pull that off, then we tend to have more peace with that person. That's why even a bunch of criminals can hang out together and talk about their robberies and not judge each other except who was the better burglar. Why? Because they see each other as the same. So whenever you see yourself as the same as the person that you're with, then you can join with them. When you see yourself as different in the sense of superior, inferior, then of course that's going to create attack and separation. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So earlier when we were talking about like when you choose that all you want is love, you can be like in the world but not of the world. And then like ego and fear and all that stuff. So would that be like of the world? And then when you choose all you want is love, then you like
that's when you're not.
But you don't
go ahead.
necessarily contain it within yourself.
Say that last part again.
Okay, like
That's okay.
does that mean like you see it around you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you like experience it in your own
Right.
life.
It's almost like you're a submarine. You're in a submarine in the ocean. So you're watching everything in the ocean, but you're actually in the submarine. So you find yourself becoming more of a witness, more so than that's actually the way that you are still expressing yourself. But not only that, you would know that you were looking at your own past, and that's why you wouldn't be condemning them, because everybody would be just being the way you used to be yourself. So to condemn them would be to condemn yourself, because they are yourself. We are one. Right. So your job becomes to be the love in the fear, to be the light in the darkness. You see what I'm saying? Our job is to show up as the love that's going to be here, it's going to be in the love here. But we channel it, we don't create it. We learn how to get our blocks out the way so that love can come through us into the world. You see what I'm saying? So this book says that we're under the misperception that we create love. And what we do is extend it. It comes through us from that which created it. What we call love are just the scripts that we make up to make ourselves happy, that we want somebody else to act out to make us happy. And then we call it love. It was isn't the real deal. Yeah. So you'll be in the world, and you'll notice that the things that appear to be happening to people who are still afraid and separate don't seem to be happening to you. They seem to be decreasing in occurrence. So it's kind of weird. You'll be hanging out with people and all they're talking about is how life sucks and everything isn't going the way they want it to, and then you're sitting up there going, "This was the best week I ever had in my whole life. I'm getting more love and support and connection and unity than I've ever experienced in my whole life." And a lot of times you're experiencing that love through the very person they're experiencing hell through. The exact same person that's treating you as nice as you could possibly imagine being treated, and they are using that same person to hurt themselves through. That's deep. So that's what we're being told. Until you actually want only love and start to believe you're only love, you'll never know the truth of what you're hearing. It'll just be something you're on the outside of analyzing. But if you actually say, all I need is love, all I want is love, love is what I am, and to prove I really want it, I'm going to start freeing everybody around me to be who they are and try to support them in the path that they've chosen for themselves. Now I know I'm sincere about wanting love because I'm doing the thing that a person that wants love does, which is to free those around them from the scripts that they're making up that they should act according to make you happy. So people who are still doing that are not evil, they're not sinful, they're not bad, they're just making an error. That's all. That's it. And the only message in an error or mistake is, don't do that again. That's it. But we add all the other stuff to it. We make it the sin of the universe that you got to suffer for forever. It's like, no, just cut it out. Stop trying to limit people. Stop trying to possess people. Stop trying to control people. Stop judging people. Just cut it out. Just stop. How do you get a person to stop something? Not by telling them it's good or bad, by making them aware that it doesn't work. That's how you stop something. See, when you put guilt to it, that doesn't stop anything. Think about how many things you do that you feel guilty about, but you do it anyway. So guilt doesn't stop. Saying something is bad or good, you lived in the world long enough that if just saying something was bad or good made a difference, we'd be in a really different world right now, wouldn't we? Yeah, so it's not bad or good. It's will it work or will it won't work? And attacking, judging, limiting, projecting, seeing everybody separate and different and sinful and bad, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It won't bring you what you want, which is love. Because even if the love showed up, you wouldn't even recognize it. Because you're looking through eyes of fear. So if love is right there, you'd never notice it. But you kind of be attracted to it. Like you said, you feel this strange quality about this person. Something is drawing them to you. It's like I attracted a lot more women when I was much more egotistical. And much more manipulative and much more self-absorbed and was much more about trying to get, because there was more women like that than there's women who are not. Doesn't that make sense? Yeah. If you just want a regular person that's fearful, guilty, manipulative, insecure, lacking, just want to be special, only do things because they're going to get something back and they just got an agenda, you, if that kind of person, you'll have an endless number of people that you will find is attracted to you that you can go out with. And so one of the things that kind of disappoint people when they get on a spiritual path is they think they're going to be attracting all these people, and at first it looks like everybody's dropping away. And you're not as magnetic or attractive as you thought you would be to people, because you're no longer on the vibration that is going to attract fear-based people who only want to get. So they're not attracted to you anymore. You don't produce enough drama. So you think something's wrong with you, but actually you're being protected. Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
Yeah. And then as I became more conscious of my behavior and what my motive was and what my purpose was and stuff like that, then I noticed I wasn't as attractive to the vast majority of people around me. But I didn't know what was going on at first. So when you first go for love, people who are still going for fear won't be attracted to you as much. But it's a lot more of them at first. So it will look to your eyes like somehow or another you're becoming invisible and people are not noticing you, even though you're seeing yourself as the coolest person you've ever been in your whole life, and you'll be wondering where in the heck are all the people that's seeing that? Well, the truth is you got to kind of first hang out with the people who are trying to do the same thing you're trying to do. That would be a good place to start, would be to join with other people who also want to be more loving and also want to wake up and also want to go beyond their fears. But if you don't ever seek out the people who share your purpose or your goal, then you're cutting yourself off from the people who really would appreciate you and be attracted to you and really benefit from being around you and want to be around you. So you can't say I'm going for a spiritual path and a spiritual practice and then focus all your attention into people who are completely unconscious and want to be afraid and angry and guilty and projecting, and they want to stay that way right now. But sometimes people, when they first start waking up, that's what they do. They study the truth, but then they still go for the same kind of consciousness that they've always gone for, thinking that somehow or another me being spiritual is going to somehow make it easier for me to be in relationship with people who don't share my purpose. Now, those people will love to have you around them because you're going to try to forgive them all the time, and you're going to try to practice the truth, and you're going to try to overlook the things they do. So they'll be like glad to have you. I mean, I do low down dirty things and not really cool, and you trying real hard to overlook it and see me as the child of God. I like that. But the problem with that is when you need compassion, when you need understanding, when you need somebody to overlook your errors, they will attack you because they know nothing about forgiveness, because they haven't taken the time to learn anything about it like you are. You're having to sit down, read a book, come to a class, check out new things to change your mind. Why do you think the people around you who are not doing that are going to magically think like this because you're studying it? They're still the way they were before you left home. You're learning a new way to look at them so that you won't give your peace away. And then when you really, really, really do change your mind, then you'll start attracting that out of the people around you more. Are you with me on that? Do you hear what I'm saying? Okay. Yes.
What if they're people you work with as opposed to people that
it doesn't make any difference. The truth works even at work. It doesn't. That's one of the illusions that we're under. It's like there's being here and then there's the world. And it's no difference. I'm creating the way I feel about anything, whether I'm in this room or whether I'm in Walmart. I'm the one that's determining how the meaning that I'm giving everything around me. I'm creating my peace or I'm creating conflict, whether I'm in a movie or whether I'm in a spiritual class. The truth works just as much in the world. I would say the truth works more in the world than it does in so-called higher consciousness meetings. Because in the world, you got to actually practice it and apply it at a level that you tend to not have to do in a meeting where you're learning the ideas and the concepts. And you're also around people that you usually don't have a real personal, intimate relationship with, except maybe a few people in the room. But when you go out of here, then you go into your special relationships, then you go to spend time with your teachers, which is sometimes called worthy opponents. Now on the spiritual... Okay, hold on just a second. A worthy opponent is a person that you always attract to you, a person or persons that you always attract to you on the spiritual path. Because they're the people who absolutely make you have to practice every bit of truth that you're studying in order to deal with them. Because until you have someone that challenges you to apply what you're learning, you'll never do it. So, and usually those people take the form of the people you form special relationships with. Those usually are your worthy opponents. Do you really, all you need is love? All you really want is love? Okay, let's see if you can get what you want to receive. Let's see if you mean anything that you're saying. So worthy opponents are cool because they get you out of denial about where you really are and give you an opportunity to see where you really are as opposed to where you think you are. Like if I want to go to LA, it helps for me to know I'm in Denver and not in Dallas.
Yes.
So you need to know where you are before you can get to where you want to go. And so we have a tendency to deceive ourselves, right? And build images of ourselves that's much higher than we're actually practicing, right? So relationships get you in touch with what you really believe about yourself as opposed to what you tell yourself you believe about yourself. They always give you wonderful reality checks, but generally people give them some space between relationships so they can temporarily feel real good about themselves. Because there's no one to reflect back to you anything about yourself that you need to work on. So you can really think you're a spiritual giant because there's nobody around you that's giving you an opportunity to see what's really going on inside yourself. And so when it's time for you to have a reality check, you find yourself attracted to someone. And it could be a friendship. It doesn't always have to be a romantic relationship. It could be your boss. It could be a coworker. But it's somebody who's a worthy opponent that's going to make you aware of you're not maybe so nicey as you think you are. Because you find yourself wanting to kill them. Which means you might not be as spiritual as you thought. Who was that hit run driver on Colfax? It kind of looked like Earl. Is that a Course in Miracles sticker on the back of that car? You know. You follow what I'm saying? So if you're in between relationships, you're giving yourself an opportunity to work on yourself without having to deal with anyone else for a while. And then once you've learned a certain amount, then a relationship is held out to you for you to see where you really are as opposed to where you think you are. Okay, is that cool? Yeah. So isn't that great? That's really great. So all you have to go is all I want is love, all I am is love, all I want to receive is love, all I want is love. He said, then you move into being in the world but not of the world. Then he told us, right after that, the book told us that all we had to do after that was to start freeing those around us if we really want to possess them. Now, you got to understand that I want to possess. There's a part of me that wants to possess. So the book didn't say you couldn't possess. It said you free them in order to possess them. Did y'all hear that part? Yeah. It didn't say you free them not to possess them. It said you actually free people to possess them. Because a person that feels free, really free with you, really free, not playing like you're free, but they really feel safe with you, like they can be themselves, there's no reason for them to go anywhere. Yeah. They want to be with you. You won't have to force them to do anything. You would be like an oasis to them. You see what I mean? So you actually possessing them, but they're just doing it of their own free will. They stand at home tonight because they want to be with you. They're calling you 3 times a day to tell you how important you are because they want to call you and tell you how beautiful and how important you are. Because they feel free, you now possess them. But people tend not to send their jailer Valentine's Day cards. So if somebody's always resisting you, pulling away from you, pulling back from you, they don't see you as a means for freedom for them. They don't see you as a safe person for them to be who they think they are with. They see you as a threat. It's not complicated at all. I'm so glad. Now, you had your hand up. Yeah. Yeah.
So you talked about, once you start awakening and wanting just love and all those things, that you have to seek other people out. I get confused by that as a sort of...
I didn't say you had to seek anybody.
Seek of like-minded people out. Like
That would be good, because then you would be consciously joining with people who are sharing your purpose.
I guess the question is more of like, so there's divine intervention or things happen for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
what part of, like, sometimes when I hear things like that, like, oh boy, I have to go also, like, I love coming in this class and I need to do these things, but seek them out. Isn't there also sort of like a vibration connection, like it appears as that happens? I'm not saying like just sit home, don't go outside, never answer the door, but
Mm-hmm.
so to find people that of that same path, in that same spiritual awakening
Mm-hmm.
zone, is just to say,
Mhm.
to seek them out, meaning like doesn't it also just start crossing your path the same way?
Yeah, I could have somebody happen to cross my path that might be into the way of mastery. Or I could see where it says there's a way of mastery class on 7 o'clock every Tuesday night and just go to it. So then I could actually have it whenever I wanted it easily without hoping that maybe I run into somebody that does it. Both of them occurs, but one of them happens faster. Just like a lot of times I hear people put down dating sites. They always going, I couldn't, it's like, I don't understand that logic. Like, I want to meet somebody, so I let people know I want to meet somebody, and I tell them what I'm interested in, because hopefully they'll have an interest in the same thing. And then we meet each other, it's a possibility we might have something in common. Now, chemistry is another thing. Maybe the chemistry will be there or not. In other words, maybe the attraction to guilt will be there or not. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, to me, that's simple. I like A Course in Miracles. Is there anybody in the room that likes A Course in Miracles? That somebody says yes. And I say, okay, let's get together and let's study the Course in Miracles. To me, that's easier than sitting around, not saying what I want, not asking for it, and just hoping that I'll cross the path of somebody who wants to be in the Course in Miracles. It's always easier to just ask for what you want. And then the people who don't want to give it to you and not supposed to give it to you will not be interested. And those who want to will let you know they want to. It's too simple, isn't it? And then it kind of like making smoke come out of everybody's ears. See, I know there's a certain point that the reason and the logic of the truth, it sometimes like trips people out, because it really is that simple. It's not, I'm sorry, I wish I could say that everything is as complicated as we make it. The Course in Miracles teaches that complexity is nothing but a smoke screen to hide the simplicity of everything, because when a person is afraid of something, they make it complex so that they won't go ahead and do it. So if I'm afraid of love, I'm going to make love a complex issue because I'm afraid to open up and to do the opening up and the vulnerability that love requires. So I'm going to act like love is the hardest thing in the world to have because I'm afraid to love. So I get a chance to say I really want to love, but nobody's there. And the truth is I'm just afraid of it, and so I'm not allowing it to happen. And I'll say the universe is denying me the love of my life. Stop being afraid. Stop being afraid. Get rid of your fear, and the love will be there. You can't help it. And let me tell you something else. You can't resist somebody you really love. You can go home and analyze it. Probably it's not love. If you can go home and decide, it's probably not love. But if it's real love coming through you and coming at you, why would you resist it? You wouldn't want to resist it. You wouldn't be afraid of it. You couldn't help yourself but move toward it. But since it's rare that we've all experienced real unconditional love, and we've all experienced conditional love, then we know how to do conditional love. So when someone says unconditional love, it makes us uneasy because we don't know how to do that. You just asked me to do something that's impossible. You've asked me to love somebody and to free them and to let them be and not try to control them, to have them. And I came from a school where love was all about limits. So now I'm afraid when you say love is freedom, I've become scared because I think love is limitation because of my own fear. So love is scary when you're trying to make the transition from fear to love. So yes, you can have a vibration that attracts people to you naturally, and it's okay to be proactive and say, I'm going to connect up with some people and ask for what I really want. Exactly. Okay? Yes.
When Chris was talking, and this goes back to oneness, I started thinking about all the ways, not all the ways, but the ways that that we outside in the world categorize differences between ourselves. I mean, we've got catalogs. If we run out of categories, we start inventing more to figure out how different we are from one another. And I just think that it would be a hell of a lot more peaceful if we could take some of that energy and concentrate on similarities and you know, the same experiences and expectations and all of those things that make us one.
Right. That's what I just said earlier.
And but it's awareness, because it goes back to what you said. You can think the course or the way, or you can live it. And when I go outside, I keep trying to be aware of that, of those teachings and applying them. But it's tough when we live in a world, as I said before, that concentrates on differences between people.
So what we would do is ask for another way to look at differences,
Yeah.
right? So what would be another way of looking at differences? Our differences can represent a very unique way that we allow love to come through. So it could be fun. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It could be love coming through all the various flavors that we are. So our individuality doesn't have to be looked at as our enemy. It can be looked at as our own special function and our own special way of letting love come into the world. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If I'm around people, I know we're ultimately the same because we're creating our reality and we all love and we all spirit. But I don't know about you, but it turns me on that we appear to be different, but we're not, because then I can take a lot of joy in the diversity. That's why I tell people that sometimes about that joke about the racial thing. It's like, really, if you've never grown up in a black body, it might be interesting to talk to somebody that has. It might be an interesting conversation, rather than run away from the fact that I'm African American. Go, hey Earl, what's that like? What's that like? Talk to me about that. What was that experience like? This was another way that God is manifesting itself. Another way that God is manifesting itself. That could be fun if we all had the goal of wanting to love each other and wanting to free each other so that we could experience what real love is and really possess each other. It's no sacrifice and nothing that we've been asked to do. I can just as easily love you in Maui as I can on Race Street. So it doesn't cut out my desire to go to Hawaii. As a matter of fact, I was just invited to go to Hawaii to speak. So then it's like, okay, so what's the difference? I'll be in another location that's really, really cool, but my purpose would be exactly the same as the purpose is here. So because I got on a spiritual path, did it mean I couldn't go to the beach and have a lot of fun and kick it up? And no, that's what Spirit is trying to tell us. That whole idea of sacrifice is just an idea that we're making up, that the universe isn't requiring of us at all. That's our own sense of guilt that make us think that having a spiritual life means you're going to have to sacrifice the pleasures of the world. You don't have to sacrifice anything for the truth. It's just asking you to want love more than anything else, take responsibility for your experience, and free the people around you and support them in what it is they really want to be, of course, providing that it's something that's peaceful and loving. And then what will happen is the universe will start to arrange everything in your life so that every obstacle that's blocking you will be moved out of the way before you get there, so that you can start to have the kind of fulfilling life that you've always wanted to have because you reconnected with your source. So miraculously your bills get paid. Miraculously you have health, healing. Miraculously the best relationship you ever had in your life shows up. Miraculously, why? Because you're gonna feel that way whether the end of that stuff shows up or not. Because you are love and you're feeling the love inside of yourself. So there's no need for you to try to guiltily snatch it from somebody else anymore. Because you feel so centered and you feel so fulfilled, and you're giving to people out of the overflow of the love that's flowing through you. And then you start to attract people who are exactly the same way in your personal life. And let's face it, it's our personal life that's our personal world. So if you're surrounded by intimates who are supporting you and freeing you and nurturing you and loving you, you'll be tempted to say your whole world is cool. And all you have to do to have a reality like that is to go, I really want to be loved. I really want to take responsibility for my experience. I really want to stop looking for it to be something or somebody else that's making me happy ultimately. Which isn't the same as saying, I'm going to join with somebody else for the purpose of giving and receiving love.
It's okay to form a relationship with somebody for the purpose of giving and receiving love. That's fun. That's awesome. That wakes all of us up. So you cool if you're alone, and you're cool if you're with somebody. You cool either way it goes. So you're not lacking anything at all. And since you feel within that you're not lacking anything, there's nothing lacking in your outer world, because your outer world is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. And so you found a magic formula to happiness. It was you, just like Wizard of Oz. It was in you all the time. Click your freaking heels. But you want to borrow my shoes. Click your own heels. That's what it's telling us. That we're looking for the jewel in somebody else's pocket. And unless somebody tell you where it is outside yourself, then even those of us who think we've gotten spiritual maturity to the point that we're not doing it in our relationships, I've noticed that I'm tempted to, and I notice people around me are tempted to still do it as far as what they consider their spiritual or their worldly ambitions or their career or their profession. That there's a tendency to still judge my success by worldly values. You know, like now I say I'm a spiritual person, that I'm getting in touch with, that happiness comes from within, but I still think my success is somehow based on how much money I make a year, or where I'm living, which means that I'm ashamed to go around my family because I can't say some big material worldly thing that I've accomplished. That's judging yourself by worldly values. If you're now becoming a spiritual being, you judge yourself by spiritual values. Am I more peaceful? Am I more loving? Do I feel free? Do I feel compassionate? Do I feel conscious? Am I assuming responsibility? Am I joyful? Am I open? Am I extending? Well, if I'm doing that more and more, quote unquote, spiritual success, quote unquote. But my ego says, hey, but you don't have 1 million people watching you teach. So if you don't have 1 million, if you don't get on Oprah, you're not doing it. The people that get on Oprah, those are the real successful teachers. You see what I mean? Once you change your value system, you have to judge yourself by the new value system. You can no longer judge yourself by the world's value system if you transcend in the world in your value system. So it doesn't mean I'm not lovable because I don't have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a husband, a wife, or anything like that. That has nothing to do with anything anymore, because I'm not judging myself the way the world would judge me.
Oh, brother.
We're working too hard.
Yeah.
We're working too hard for what's already there. We just need to get the blocks out the way. And we can't do it by ourselves. You can't do this by yourself. Those of you who want to do it by yourself, this is the spiritual path is not the path you need to be on.
Yeah.
Because the spiritual path is all about unity. It's all about oneness. It's all about joining. It's all about connecting with yourself. Not having to do it by yourself. It's easier to lift a sofa with somebody else on the other end. But but don't form a relationship that you're trying to move the sofa and the person's sitting on it. You do better to be by yourself. I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes we can be flying. We can be flying and then form a relationship and come to a screeching halt. That's the person you join with that's sitting on the sofa. That's the one that's you haven't explained everything. They feel threatened by what you're doing. They're ridiculing what you're doing. They're not joining with you on growing together and evolving together. That's somebody sitting on the sofa. But you invited them in the house. So don't get mad at them. But you're looking for a relationship that you all are lifting the sofa together and y'all both trying to take it through the same door. And suppose you had 4 people trying to help you lift the sofa. Suppose you had 10 people trying to help you lift the sofa. You see what I'm saying? That's what a holy relationship is. It's a relationship that all of you are lightening everything up for each other.
Yeah.
Like a potluck. You hardly ever go to a potluck and there's not more than enough food. You know what I'm saying? You bring a little bit and it's more there than you can eat. That's the way it really is, y'all. If you got financial problems right now and you're saying I'll share and give the once I get the money, then you know nothing about spiritual truth. You would know because you are broke, you need to go out and give somewhere. And I'm not trying to get you to give it to me. Okay? I would love it.
But that would work.
You know, it would make sense to share where you felt like you were receiving benefit, but that's okay because God is taking care of me. And I think the channels that God shares with me through, but don't think for a second that I don't believe it's God that's taking care of me. but you think the channels. So when I'm going through the most financial fear is when I give the most to where I feel like I'm being spiritually fed. And not just money. Same thing. If I feel unloved and feel lonely, then I'm going to give what I want to receive. If I want you to take me out to dinner, I'll take me out to dinner. That way I'm giving myself what I want to receive, and then guess what happens? You seem to get a lot of dinner invitations because you gave them to yourself. Just reverse everything you're doing if you're unhappy. Just do everything opposite to how you're doing it, those who are unhappy, and that's how you will get what you want. If you're miserable and lonely and you're normally quiet, then start talking. If you're miserable and lonely and you talk all the time, you might need to be quiet. Do it opposite. Do it the opposite. If you always lose your temper, then try to choose for peace to see what happens. If you're a person that never speaks up, well, try being a little bit more confrontational then and let people know what you really think and what you really feel. Do just the opposite, but have the goal of love. Have the goal of peace. And then your friends are going to support you in being happy. They're going to remind you of your they're going to remind you of your positive, loving attributes. And if they even mention something to you that you might need to work on, they will do it with an attitude of not trying to make you feel guilty or condemned. You might want to consider this. Have you thought about that? This is something that I've noticed. Would you mind if I shared this? I have a little insight here that maybe will be helpful. You understand if you don't listen to it, but this is something I'd like to share with you right now that maybe you'd like to take a look at. See, it's just how you communicate. And that's what these books teach you. They teach you a new way of communicating that'll get you what you want. Which excites me. Does it excite you?
Yes.
Yeah, it excites me. I don't approach classes like this with, oh my God, I gotta go to a class tonight. It's like, I can't wait to hear something loving like this being said to me about me and a way out of it. So let's see what else it's saying before we only have 15 more minutes. So let's see if we can get some more good stuff in before we go. Is that cool with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. If a twinge of sadness arises because you recognize that two bodies in space are going to go to separate parts of the planet, you feel separate because you and this other person are going to be separate. He says, you will recognize it as the effect of a mistaken perception. Interesting. If I feel sad because it looks like we're going to be separated, when I wake up to who I really am, he says, a conscious being realizes that you are having a mistaken perception, that if you were seeing things correctly, you wouldn't feel sad because the two of you are going to be in two different physical places. Whoa, whoa. He says you will move within to the place in which all minds are joined. In other words, our bodies might be in two different places, but our minds are always joined and our minds are always connected. You will remember that your fulfillment does not rest in gaining love from another, because that's why I'm sad, because it looks like I might not gain that love from another. He says, but in giving love to everyone. So it's in giving the love to everyone that I let go of the sadness about what appears to be the separation that's going to happen between me and another person. He says, if indeed you would know the truth that sets you free, heed each and every word that's being shared. If you want to know the truth that sets you free, heed each and every word that's being shared. If you would taste the sweet nectar of perfect freedom, if you want to taste the sweet nectar of perfect freedom, be committed to replacing every erroneous perception you have ever made and every thought you have ever held of everyone and everything. If you want to be free, be committed to letting go of every incorrect thought you're having about everything. Set these things aside. Now notice that right after it said we were told to correct it, then we were told set these things aside. It didn't say analyze it to death. It didn't say take the mistake and he says no, my attacking you is a mistake, so I'm going to set attacking you aside. I'm not going to analyze why I'm attacking you, how it goes back to my childhood, to my dad holding me upside down over the railroad track, or whatever it was that I'm telling myself to justify my attack. I will just start to set attack aside by making peace my primary goal. So then it says, it says, set these things aside and commit the fullness of your energy to the simple and vigilant practice of remembering the truth, even prior to every breath. Say, I live, yet not I, but the Christ dwells within me. And the Christ simply means the real self that you are that was created by your Creator. The one self that we all are, because we didn't create ourselves. So it says, therefore I submit and surrender to the truth that's true always. I submit and surrender to the truth that's true always. I submit and surrender to the truth that's true. What does that have to do with me getting a relationship? What does that have to do with me getting a job? What does that have to do with my career? What does that have to do with my health problem? The reason why you have those things is that you haven't submitted and surrendered to the truth that's true always. That's why the problem is there, is because I haven't surrendered to the truth that's true always. And so my fulfillment comes only from allowing Christ or the love in me to be given to the world. So my fulfillment comes only from allowing the truth in me to be given to the world. Now, why am I saying this, even though I might not necessarily believe it or get turned on by it? Because the way that you acquire a new thought and a new belief is through repetition. First, it being introduced to you, but you not believing it at all. Then repeating it over and over again until you begin to gradually accept it as true. And then you accept it as true more and more the more you say it with some reservation. And then finally you go, oh, it's true. And then when you so I accept it, it's true, that's when you start to see it manifested in your physical world all around you and your perception. So it's important in the beginning to say stuff that you don't believe and that doesn't necessarily turn you on, because it's so opposite to the way you think about yourself. So when I say stuff like, I submit and surrender to the truth that's true always, that doesn't generate a whole lot of excitement, because that's an idea that's not true to possibly true to you yet. That's really what it's all about for you. It's to submit and surrender to the truth always. You may have some other thing you're trying to get, and you want to use the truth to get it. You follow me? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm here because I want to use truth principles to get a house. I'm here because I want to use truth principles to pay my bills. I'm here because I have an illness and I want a truth principle to help me get rid of my illness. That's not the same as saying I want the truth. What I really want is this thing that's going on in my outer world to be fixed. And I'm trying to use the truth as a means to get it, rather than doing it the other way around, which is I'm going to use everything in my life as a means to reach the truth. See, that's the opposite. See, the average person is trying to use the truth as a means to get the thing in the world. A conscious being is using everything in their world to get to the truth and the love. So then they dedicate their car to God, they dedicate their house to truth, they dedicate their relationship to truth, they dedicate their finances. You say, I want the universe to use everything in my life right now to bring me to self-realization, to know more love, and to extend more love, and to have more peace, and to have more freedom, and to have more joy. I want my job to be used for that. I want my friends to be used for that. I want my relatives to be used for that. I want my sex life to be used for that. I want my love life. A conscious being is taking everything in their reality and saying, how can that be used as a means for me to make the connection with my source? A person that's not aware is doing the opposite. They're only getting into the truth and into the thing and into the source to get a thing in the world that they want. And that's different, but it's not nothing to feel guilty about. But that's not the same as I want only love. Take a breath. I know it's intense, isn't it? Because all of us know what I'm talking about. It's already built into every one of us. And the Course teaches that when you hear the truth, it will make you feel weary sometimes. And it will put you to sleep sometimes. And you will go unconscious sometimes. That's how you know you're hearing something that's different and something that will free you, because your ego is reacting to it. So how do I get beyond that? How do I get beyond that? This is the way I do it. I have fun. I submit and surrender to the truth that's always true. My fulfillment comes only from allowing love to be given to the world. I say it again. I submit and surrender to the truth that is true always. My fulfillment comes only from allowing truth to be given to the world. See, you gotta use, see what I'm doing is I'm using my body, and I'm using the rhythm of my body, I'm using the fun of my body to remember the truth. So that's what I was saying. You use everything to help you remember the truth. You use your relationships to help you remember the truth. When you're on the job tomorrow, say, I want everything on this job to be used to help me submit and surrender to the truth. Let me use everything on my job to help me surrender to the truth. I want you to help me surrender to the truth. In this relationship that I'm going home tonight to help me remember the truth. When I go home and deal with my children tonight, when I go home and deal with my children tonight, I want you to help me remember the truth. Oh, please help me remember the truth. When I go to the bank, I want you to use my bank account to help me remember the truth. Help me remember to want only love. Help me remember to want only love. When I look at my body in the morning, I want to use my body to remember the truth. Let me use my body to remember the truth. When I get in my friggin' car tonight and I get on Colfax Avenue, no matter what's happening on Colfax Avenue, let me remember the truth. I submit and surrender to the truth. I submit and remember to the truth. I submit and remember the truth. I submit and remember the truth. Now, when you do something like that, you're going to remember it a little bit more than if you go, I submit and surrender to the truth that it's true always. My fulfillment comes only from allowing Christ to be given to the world. So you acknowledge yourself for letting yourself hear into this tonight. I mean, really, let's give it up to us. This was some deep stuff that we heard tonight. It was some deep stuff. Now, the thing that you felt the greatest amount of resistance to might be the thing that applied the most to you. So ask yourself, out of all the things that were said tonight, what was it that you found yourself resisting the most? That may be the thing to really take a look at. So I want to tell you, thank you for sharing with me. We're going to do the financial expression of appreciation right now. And so thank you for sharing with my full-time ministry with the course. I really appreciate that. And those of you online, thank you for the appreciation offerings that you also shared. And if you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, you can go to my website, earlpurdy.com. I post all these classes after I do them. So this class will be posted this week. So if you're on the contact list, I send you a link in the mail that will allow you to go directly to the class and watch it right from your email. And it works on a smartphone or anything else that you got. So you can get a chance to listen back to what we're saying again. So those of you who are watching online, if you haven't signed up for my contact list, go to my website and do so that you can get the lessons directly, or just go to my website to do it, and also YouTube. And also I have all 365 Course in Miracles workbook lessons. So if you Google my last name and whatever the lesson number is, it will take you directly to the lesson that you could listen to if you're doing a Course in Miracles workbook lesson. So there's a lot of support. That's my greatest love, is to be support. So let's all do it together. Let's join together. Let's want the love together. Let's want to go to another level together, because you can be in the world and not of the world. You can see synchronicities start to take place in your life that heal situations, circumstances that you've been struggling with on your own for years. And sometimes it's hard for us to believe that it's as easy as saying, I really want love. All I really need is love. And I'm going to start to show that I mean that by how much freedom I start giving to the people in my life, and most of all, how much freedom I start to give to myself by getting rid of my anger, guilt, and grievances and fear, because that's the only obstacle. So to close up tonight, let's all kind of like close your eyes and just like kind of chill out for a second. Please just chill out for a minute and just kind of let yourself remember that you are loved, that's what you are. And just listen to this for a minute, and then we're going to head out into the lab. I really, really appreciate you all being here more than I could ever put into words. I thank you for your questions. Thank you for agreeing. Thank you for not agreeing. Thank you for everything that you're doing, because you are a complete blessing on every level in my life. Every time I look at you, I really get a great big heart on. It's awesome. I would like you to think of somebody, anybody, especially somebody close to you, that you're willing to free
so that you can possess them. That you're willing to free them. Now, what does that mean? That simply means that you are willing to support them in being the best that they can be in whatever it is that they're trying to do to better themselves. And freeing them means that you're much more about supporting them, having the things that fulfill and evolve them, than just having them meet your scripts and your needs, whether that's meeting their needs or not. So you're taking it to a whole new level, and it's something you do in your mind. The truth is very simple. It's not complex at all. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. And let love live through you. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Let love live through you. The truth is very simple. It's not complex at all. So silently within yourself, say this: I live. Say that to yourself. You don't have to say it out loud. Yet not I, but love dwells in me. Love dwells in me. I say each part twice. Say, therefore I submit and surrender to the truth. Therefore I submit and surrender to the truth. That is true. Always. I submit and surrender to the truth that is true always. I submit and surrender to the truth that is true always. I submit and surrender to the truth that is true always. I submit and surrender to the truth that is true always. My fulfillment comes only from allowing love to be given to the world. I get out of the way. 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 And let love live through me. I let love live through me. I let love live through me. 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 Now, whoever feels like saying it, we're going to say it together. And those who just want to listen and not say anything, please do that. Just let yourself receive it. Don't force yourself to participate outwardly if you're not feeling it. If you just want to receive it. And those who feel like saying it, we go, let love live through me. 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 Let abundance live through me. Let abundance live through me. Let abundance live through me. Let freedom live through me. Let freedom live through me. Let freedom live through
me. I get out of my way. 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 I get out of my way.